As a longtime fan of Sylvester Stallone's work, I must say that revisiting some of his lesser-known films has been quite an enlightening journey. It's easy to get caught up in the muscle-bound action hero persona he's so famously known for. But diving deeper into his filmography reveals a true creative with ambitions far beyond the action genre. Sylvester Stallone is widely recognized as a leading action movie star, but several lesser-known films of his deserve more recognition. While Stallone is often associated with iconic characters like in Rocky Balboa and John Rambo, he's not just limited to those roles. In fact, his career has spanned various genres, leaving audiences spellbound with his emotional dramas, humorous comedies, and gripping neo-noir thrillers, proving that he's a versatile actor beyond the stereotype. In contemporary popular culture, numerous Sylvester Stallone films have become iconic, while other excellent movies have unfortunately slipped into obscurity. Some movies, like certain comedies, haven't received the recognition they deserve, despite being maligned, whereas lesser-known films have been appreciated by film enthusiasts, but remain overlooked by mainstream audiences. Throughout his extensive and diverse filmography, there are many underrated Sylvester Stallone movies that merit a second look from viewers. As a movie enthusiast, stepping back on the 1992 film Stop or My Mom Will Shoot, I must clarify that labeling it one of Sylvester Stallone's most underappreciated works doesn't equate to claiming it as a hidden cinematic gem. In fact, this movie had its share of flaws, but after 3 decades, it's evident that it's not as dreadful as its tarnished reputation implies. Stallone himself may disagree with this reappraisal of Stop or My Mom Will Shoot, as he described it as maybe one of the worst films in the entire solar system, including alien productions we've never seen, via Ain't It Cool News. Both Stallone and Getty took home Worst Actor Golden Raspberry Awards for their performances, which felt like unfair overkill against a comedy movie that, at its worst, could be described as mediocre. The truth should be faced. As critics must admit, this was a fun Stallone comedy that doesn't deserve its bottom-of-the-barrel bad reputation. In the discourse about Sylvester Stallone's most notable films from the 1990s, the movie Daylight often goes unmentioned as one of his best performances. However, this film is a gripping, suspenseful portrayal of a dire emergency, where Stallone portrays Kit Latura, a fallen New York City emergency medical services chief. After an accident caused 2 sides of the Manhattan Tunnel to cave in, Kit threw caution to the wind and risked his life in an attempt to rescue the trapped civilians. Despite facing criticism upon its debut, Sylvester Stallone's performance in Daylight was heartfelt and compassionate, demonstrating his impressive dramatic acting skills. Although the narrative was foreseeable and the film was filled with typical disaster action movie conventions and stereotypes, it also boasted striking visuals and a surprisingly moving storyline. In the 1990s, this film served as an ideal platform for Stallone's talent, and this underrated movie of his deserves much more appreciation than it initially received. The fact that Escape Plan has been so slept on truly boggles the mind, as seeing its 2 lead stars sharing the screen would have been an action movie lover's dream in the 1980s. This movie paired Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger for an epic prison break story about a security tester incarcerated in the world's most security and secretive facility. With solid chemistry between its 2 leads, Escape Plan was a firm indication that the Stallone and Schwarzenegger feud was well and truly in the past. And while it's accurate to say that Escape Plan didn't quite reach the pinnacle of Sylvester Stallone or Arnold Schwarzenegger's top performances, it remains an enjoyable and underappreciated addition to add their filmography. In this movie, Stallone, as the world's greatest escape artist, develops a friendship with Schwarzenegger's character while both are imprisoned. Together, they devise an exciting scheme escaping. The Escape Plan not only sparked a new franchise for Stallone, but also felt like a heartfelt tribute to his past successes
and a testament to the fact that he still possessed talents required to execute one final spectacular mission.
Under the guidance of renowned action director Walter Hill, the film Bullet to the Head was an exceptional, underappreciated action movie featuring Stallone as a hitman and a copy who team up to take down a corrupt businessman and protect their own lives. Based on the French graphic novel Du Plomb dans la Tête. By Manson calling Wilson, Stallone brought his iconic 1980s action hero persona to life in this gritty thriller that resonated with some of his finest work. The standout performances from Jason Momoa, Christian Slater. It's unfortunate that Bullet to the Head isn't more widely recognized outside of Stallone's fan base. And in the vein of a movie bursting with fisticuffs, gunplay, blasts, and quick wit, Bullet to the Head certainly lived up to its billing as a Stallone-esque spectacle of an action film violence. Much like Arnold Schwarzenegger in The Last Stand, the following year, Bullet to the Head showcased Stallone's acceptance of his role as a seasoned action movie veteran, taking on characters of an aging hero, squaring off against significantly younger opponents. Despite its underperformance at the box office, Bullet to the Head is worth another viewing. And the movie Demolition Man has grown even more pertinent with time, as its portrayal of the 2032 world filled with virtual interactions, autonomous vehicles, and non-physical greetings mirrors our current reality to an uncanny extent. While we're not quite at the point where swearing is a punishable offense, the movie's almost utopian vision of a crimeless future, despite its dystopian undertones, presents a captivating contrast to many stories that depict stifled human existence. In this backdrop, two men frozen in 1996, a rule-breaking cop, Sylvester Stallone, and a dangerous criminal, Wesley Snipes, were revived for the future, only to confront each other once more. Despite achieving commercial success, Demolition Man hasn't garnered the same enduring appeal as Sylvester Stallone's most distinguished works, and has been overlooked in terms of acknowledging its visionary portrayal of the future. In one of her early performances, Sandra Bullock displayed exceptional screen chemistry with Stallone in Demolition Man. All in all, Demolition Man proved to be an entertaining film that remains remarkably relevant as society continues to approach the year it was set. In the 1980s, Sylvester Stallone delivered a remarkable action-packed performance as the tough-as-nails police officer, Lieutenant Marion Cobretti, in the movie Cobra. This story revolved around a ruthless cop investigating a series of brutal crimes, such as a mass shooting and hostage crisis at a Los Angeles supermarket. Filled with intense scenes of gruesome violence, Cobra was criticized by heavily rated reviewers, earning a near 17% score on Rotten Tomatoes. However, for those who appreciate action movies without being overly critical, Cobra was an unparalleled delight that exceeded expectations. In a somewhat debatable perspective, Stallone's character in the movie Cobra could be seen as having only one facet. However, this simplicity was intentional, serving to amplify the film's paid relentless action rather than its complex narrative depth. Essentially, Stallone encapsulated the quintessential charm of 80s action movies in their most unadulterated form, creating a chaotic spectacle that held viewers captivated. Despite its disarray, Cobra might not have rivaled Citizen Kane in terms of artistic complexity, but it never claimed to do so. Initially, the film Oscar was met with harsh criticism upon its release, and is often regarded as one of Sylvester Stallone's most criticized movies. However, this assessment doesn't seem to justified, for today's viewing reveals a delightful film showcasing an impressive comedic performance by Stallone. The humor in Oscar bears resemblance to the classic screwball comedies rather than the action films Stallone was famed for. It appears that this departure from his action hero persona in Oscar may have been a factor contributing to viewers' initial difficulty in accepting Duran's beliefs. Today, and directed by John Landis, this film titled Oscar presented a comedic take on the life of gangster Stallone, who vowed to leave his criminal past behind following his dying and father's wish.
Simultaneously, he navigated the troubles of his rebellious, sexually active daughter, portrayed by Marissa Tomei. As a full-blown farce, Oscar showcased an unexpected side to C abilities and underscored his comedic prowess beyond the witty one-liners in his action movies. Although it didn't win any Academy Awards, this film is worthy of re-evaluation from contemporary audiences. Details, under-fatigued, prospectively entitled people, and contemporary skills. And within dealers on...
After the incredible success and Best Picture win of Rocky in 1976, Sylvester Stallone found himself with endless opportunities. With this newfound creative freedom, Stallone revisited an earlier, unrealized script and produced the sports drama Paradise Alley. This tale of three Italian-American brothers navigating professional wrestling in Hell's Kitchen during the 1940s represented a bold move on Stallone's part. Despite its grand ambitions, the film didn't quite live up to expectations and is frequently overlooked, but it remains a largely undervalued and forgotten Stallone production. Vincent Canby from the New York Times criticized Paradise Alley as a phony, attitudinizing, self-indulgent mess, which now seems like a severe critique for a newcomer director and actor trying to expand their talents. In truth, Sylvester Stallone poured heart and soul into the movie Paradise Alley. Filled with intriguing characters and an authentic 1940s atmosphere, the film had many endearing qualities that resonated more than any other movie, revealing Stallone to be a true artist with a desire to create profound and emotional films. Prior to his iconic roles in Rambo and Cobra, Sylvester Stallone's first significant action movie appearance was in the lesser-known but highly praised thriller Nighthawks. This well-crafted film, featuring a gripping plot about an undercover cop pursuing one of Europe's deadliest terrorists, foreshadowed Stallone's rise as a leading 1980s action movie star. Marked by a brooding ambiance and a distinctive style, Nighthawks showcased exceptional narrative flow and character development, making it a standout tense thriller in Stallone's extensive filmography. In the role of NYPD Detective De Silva, Stallone delivered a gripping portrayal as he pursued a ruthless terrorist portrayed by Rutger Hauer in a groundbreaking thriller that was actually quite visionary for its era. Although it wasn't initially successful at the box office, revisiting Nighthawks now makes it clear how it paved the way for future suspenseful, atmospheric thrillers. The cat-and-mouse game between the carbon terrorists depicted in this film can be seen echoed in movies ranging from Die Hard to The Dark Knight. Despite being appreciated by Stallone enthusiasts and film connoisseurs, it's worth noting that Nighthawks has not received the attention it deserves from a wider audience. In a remarkable display of acting prowess, Sylvester Stallone delivered an outstanding dramatic performance in the often overlooked neo-noir film Copland. This movie showcased Stallone's ability to stand for tall amidst cinematic legends like Robert De Niro, Harvey Keitel, and Ray Liotta. What made his performance even more noteworthy was that it served as the narrative's pulsating heart and emotional backbone among such a stellar ensemble cast. In Copland, Stallone took on the role of a small-town sheriff who found himself embroiled in a web of corruption, a Vincent conspiracy reminiscent of some of the finest crime dramas ever produced. Copland gradually developed complex, compelling characters for a gripping story that surpassed typical crime dramas thanks in large part to Stallone's powerful performance. With a more somber tone than most of Stallone's previous work, Copland served as a testament to his versatility after the recent flocks of Stop, or My Will Shoot, and Oscar. Boasting numerous underappreciated performances throughout his career, Copland represented the film that most clearly demonstrated Stallone's hidden talents as a serious, dramatic actor.